They tackle Mid-Ohio first, followed by Richmond.
Oh yeah, man, it's going to be an interesting race tonight. I was looking at points while we were actually waiting before we broadcasted here. Um, I mean, other than Jake just walking away, I mean, he's just walking away. There's literally, unless he has catastrophic failure for like the rest of the season, I don't think anybody's going to actually be able to catch him.
Yeah, Jake, going into this point system, so we did something a little bit different here than what we do on any other matchup. This is the only series that does not have a playoff, so although you're going to see a lot of drivers and they're fighting hard, Jake has a 186-point lead over second place Woodruff Sport. Um, Woodruff has about 50 points over No Pit Pendle, and No Pit Pendle has about 70 points over Robbie Bid. So our top four are pretty spread out, but from there on, Robbie Bids only has 14 points over Trey. He's looking strong. Jackson Strong is about 40, 50 points behind him, but he's not racing tonight. Followed by Bob, who joined the season late. G9 Gamer, who hasn't been here as of late, and Bolt Prussia, and Matt BW rounding up that top 10. Matt BW is actually fairly new, looking like he can get into possibly the top 5 by the time the season's over.
Yeah, he's a new add-on. Wasn't it supposed to be Maddie's team next year?
Yeah, he was, but Matty closed the doors, no longer has a team, so Matt BW is running for underdogs tonight.
He's actually really. I mean, I've watched a couple races with him. He's actually very conservative. I mean, I've seen a couple of races. He doesn't push an issue that much. He really kind of sees where the car can actually go for him, which is kind of good to have on. I mean, I'd say underdog, but in general, as any team, if you have a driver that actually knows how much the car has in it and not over pushes it, it could set him up for a win later in the season.
Tonight's going to be interesting, actually. To go with what you said, it's all about the setup tonight. Saturday when we race, that one's more about all about the driver, as it's a preset series, going with whatever is already there. Tonight's about the custom setup, who can make one. On top of who can make one, who has a teammate that can make a really good one. And if you do have somebody, how many times did you get on there and actually practice? There's so many variables that go into these custom setup nights that Jake, I know for a fact, he puts in a lot of time in all the different setups. He runs up front all the time, and it shows, via that point system.
I'm actually going to be pulling a wild card tonight, Taddy. See who. Most people probably. Well, most people know who he is because he gets a lot of fan base coming in here. But I see one driver making a breakout run tonight. I believe he's running tonight, which is Puddin.
Puddin is not running
Oh,
tonight.
he's not running. Ah,
Puddin is a truck driver.
dang. Oh, that's for next week. That's actually not next week. Following week, Canadian Tire. My bad. I am sorry, guys.
Matt's a really fun guy, Canadian Tire for sure. He is a road course ringer. We love telling him that's by far his favorite racing. Pretty good all in all, but again, that's somebody that we will see not this coming Monday, but the Monday after. It is next week. To any fans that happen to be listening right now, we are at the Ruby Racing League. We're taking a week off as the drivers go and see their family over the Christmas holidays. We will return the following week with our playoffs to begin.
Which is going to be fun. I mean, pretty much I know everybody wants to get together with their families. I mean, get together with their loved ones and all that.
Yeah, everything is good now.
Yeah, because I couldn't hear you, Teddy. Good job, man. I mean, that's that rookie mistake commentator there. I mean, but no.
Well, all right. So I've said a whole lot of stuff, and nobody's heard a word that I've said as I'm an idiot and forgot to take it off Do Not Allow. Uh,
Yeah, he's usually not
again,
in the booth.
hello, ladies and gentlemen, to the Giggity Racing League. We are our custom Xfinity as we go to Mid Ohio and Richmond tonight. We got a hell of a battle getting ready to brew up. I'm not so sure. Road course. We got a few new guys coming in tonight that also like road courses. I'm not sure how they're going to do in comparison to some of our series regulars. Um, this is the one series again that doesn't do playoff system. So this is the series that is allowed to have new drivers enter week in and week out. as we test it out. After that, once we start the playoffs here in 2 weeks, because next week we are shut down for the holidays. Um, so in 2 weeks we will return with playoffs and all other series. And at that point in time, we will be having no new drivers. Everybody that you've seen to this point will be the same drivers going for the championships. Wow, that made me feel silly having this on Do Not Allow.
Well, we have ZL Gamer, which is Megalodon, that's in here. He said, "I'm ready to see this race. It should be a fun one. It should be a good one." Yeah, I agree.
Guitar was in the booth, I believe, last night for the Cup Series. He knows how it is being in here in the booth and trying to watch the excitement. Man, I'm hoping that this race lives up to. I watched some of the broadcast back
Do we
from.
wait for that though, Teddy? I just got an invite.
I'm not sure. Give me just a second.
Sorry about that, guys.
I'm not certain. Uh,
Okay.
I was told no.
By the way, Mills needs an invite there, Teddy.
Yeah, I
Okay,
got him. I've
yeah.
already sent him an invite into this chat. I've sent him an invite into. I'll get him into the race and all that stuff.
There it goes. We're just waiting here. Our buddy there, Ryan's in the chat saying Taddy.
Hold on just a second.
Yeah, it's custom tonight. ZL1. Yeah, it's only on Saturdays. It's preset, right, Taddy?
Saturdays are preset. Thursdays is custom setups.
Yep.
Correct.
Are you actually thinking about next season making both custom, or is it just going to stay the same?
Um, Hold on just a second. We were told to accept the invites.
No, we were.
So you're going to be blue screening, so I'm not going
Oh,
to
yep.
answer that right
Yep.
now.
Give me 1 minute, guys. I gotta find my Yeah, give me a minute here, guys. I'm having a moment here. Man, big field tonight. Alright, guys, we're back here. We're just jumping into the race here. You can go ahead and talk there, Teddy.
Yeah, I'll be there in just a minute. So actually, we got some big things coming next season. A lot of changes. As far as the custom Xfinity, we're looking at possibly dropping the series in general and opening up the custom cup to everyone to be able to try and make their way in on Wednesdays.
Ah.
Okay, we got a few streams that are up, so on cautions and stuff, we will be trying to figure it out. Ryan Morgan, Mills, ZL1 Gaming, aka Guitar. Good seeing you guys here in the chat. Glad you guys are watching. Anybody else that's in there watching, if you guys want us to look on a certain car, let us know. I'm still loading up, that's why I'm not talking about the race, so apologies.
I just thought of something, Taddy. This is a memory. This is actually is a milestone
No,
race
this
if you
is
think about it. No, milestone
it's a
race.
what?
Mid Ohio back this season was the first time we started the NOCO one to go.
Gotcha. Well, that's cool. So it looks like Jake and Hunty are out to an early lead as the 10 and the 35 are P1 and P2. Jake sporting the new December free pack DLC paint scheme in that gold number 10. Hunty in the 35. Those two
Is hunting
cars.
new?
Hunty's been here for a couple weeks. He is what we consider a road course ringer. He's got a setup at all of them. Look for him to be out there quick, as it looks like he's closing in on Jake right now through the S's here. No Pit Pendle looks like he's taking third from the 61 of Matt BW.
That is a nice looking paint scheme, actually. It is, Taddy. That gold paint scheme for
It
Jake.
is a nice looking car for sure. Right along here back with Trey, who's in the top 5, looking to move up in the point standings after tonight's events. Side by side racing behind them as Robbie Vids and Edtho are fighting for, I believe that's 5th place on the track.
Ooh, that would be a good idea, Ryan. Could you imagine that, Taddy? Huntley versus Marcus versus Jake.
Yeah, so Marcus is actually supposed to be in the field somewhere tonight. I'm looking for his name, actually, as you said that. I
Where's
see
he at?
Boomhauer made it. I did not see Marcus's name. He is in the sign-up list, but I did not see him as somebody that made the race. There's
I was
actually
actually
not that
gonna
many
say,
cars.
where's he been? I haven't seen Marcus in a long time.
Only 16 drivers here. Marcus has had some work schedules incidents that has made it very difficult for him to make this. So he was hoping to come back tonight, and he still might make Richmond. So I'm hoping to see him,
Oh yeah.
Jake, Hunty, No Pit Pendle, Robbie Vitt. I'm looking to see all these top guys battling it out at Richmond short track racing. But that's for later. For right now, we still have Jake and Hunty. Hunty off course into the grass a little bit, saves it, goes up into the oh man, what are they called there? Rumble strips, saves it, goes to the outside of Jake here in this corner, unable to make the pass as Jake outpits him or outbreaks him, and here comes No Pit Pendle closing in on the two of them in third.
Question for that ZO1. I believe it's Maddie BW tonight. Who else is running with Underdog tonight? Taddy.
So Hunty, the 35 of Hunty, sitting in P2 is an underdog driver as he takes the lead as we're talking about him. Underdogs to the lead. Boomhauer is also in the 18 IK9 Toyota. He's not on a custom setup. He did not have time to make one. He will have a custom setup at Richmond as he is using his captain's setup. So look for him to be a little bit quicker at the oval track.
As we see that, man, there's a
These three
battle
have
right
checked
now.
out up here.
It's a battle though, which is nice.
It looks like Hunty, now that he's gotten to that first position, actually has a bit stronger of a car than Jake. This is early in the race, early in the stage, so I'm waiting to see whether that's just a short run car or if he can sustain that speed the whole race. The one guy that I can say that seems to be one of the strongest, if not the absolute strongest on the track, is that 11 of Pendle as he goes to the inside of Jake as we speak about him. Here he goes, makes the corner coming out. Oh, not quite. Jake's still there. Jake holds the position as they get ready to enter the next turn.
Looks like, I'm not gonna lie, looking at it right now, it looks like Jake doesn't have a good handling car right now.
It looks to me like Jake doesn't know the track maybe as well as the other two, as he seemed to let off considerably earlier than the others, and they're just outbreaking him and still being able to hold it into the corners.
Yeah, that's true.
Matt VW is falling back a little bit as it looks like Robbie Vids, another great road course driver in the 07 of Robbie Vids, is gotten by Matt VW. I believe this would be for fourth place. So Robbie Vids looking to get himself up into the top three if he can chase those others down.
Yeah, shout out here in the chat here. It's Zio said never count Jake, he'll be back. And then Cloud Surf, which is I believe is Angel. And we see as Robbie got into the grass there.
Going back a little bit further in the field, it looks like a Bob in the 21 and Fat Patch in the 86 running a great race here side by side. A little bit single. Oh, as I say that, a Bob goes flying through the corner into the sand trap. Man, you hate to see that happen. He had a great run going there. That is a sharp, difficult corner. He does save it. No damage. Looks like he's back on the track, ready to go. A little bit of hood damage, but I don't think it's a whole lot. It's the 70. The 70, who's that? Spins right in front of Matty Boy, I believe, in the 70. Yes, it was. Bolt Crusher spun out, got a lot of damage on the front end. Another newcomer to the series here in the 89, running with Edtho right now, Piston Piper. Not only is he running side by side with Edtho, but he is one of Edtho's drivers at the DSR camp. Scroll back here a little bit. I'm looking at my driver, IK9 driver. Boomhauer has no damage, but is, like I said,
as we say that, looks like there was an incident there between, I don't know who that was either. Who was that? Hold on, Taddy. I gotta go back to see who that was.
Not to cut you off short, but up here for the lead, it is getting intense. As Hunty is still in the lead, Pendle, who's closed into second, is right on his tail as they're going through these S's. To this right-handed corner, Pendle is there. Pendle is on his rear end, looking to get by. Who is going to lead this lap?
Yeah, as I was trying to say, it looked like Piston got in the rear end of, I believe it was, I forget who it was. Here, leave me, guys. Sorry.
Arkan said the 89, which would have been Piston Piper.
Yeah, he got into the back of Etho and pretty much, I'm not going to say rooted him into the grass, but it kind of looked like it on the stream. I went on there on board with the 22, and it kind of looked like he gave him a little shot, but we'll have to get back to look at that later to see if it was or not. But as we go back up here to the lead wise,
it is getting intense. You know, Honey,
yeah.
he's holding his good line. This is going to make it very difficult. Hunty does love the road courses. He's going to hit his marks almost every time. You just don't see him make too many mistakes. And without a mistake, it's going to be very, very difficult to get by him. Pendle at this point. Oh, as I say that, Honey goes wide on a corner. Pendle comes to get by him, but the next corner is a left-hander as we have a car spun out in the grass.
That was a 58, I believe.
Pendle to the inside. Oh, Pendle unable to get there. Tried breaking him and missed it, so he falls back about a car length or two. This is a great battle on a road course. You don't see this very often in league racing. Usually one guy dominates, but to see two guys... Oh, Pendle off the track as I'm saying it. To see two guys battling out here at the top, this is great racing. Jake has fallen back. Actually, it looks like Trey has even gotten by Jake.
I'm not... Well, guys, we were going to have Miles in the booth here, but he's having some really technical difficulties right now.
Yeah, so there was a system update, there was a game update, and it looks like by the time we finish this race, Mills' updates may be done.
Maybe.
Looks like Matty Boy's off track again. Just going through the field here real quick. Boomhauer has passed a few people. Man, I'm going through the field, but the best racing here on the track is these top two with Honey and Pendle.
Oh, man. I don't want to leave them two because it's such close racing. Oh, by the way, I mean, I don't know if you want... I'll message you real quick before I say it.
Hunty's still holding strong. Pendle is still right there. Any slip up at all this point would cost either one of these guys possibly the stage. RKM. Yes, that is definitely some more beer time for Mills, but in fairness, broadcasting is all about drinking the beers. As Pendle looks to the inside of Honey on the exit of the corner, still unable to make it. He has got to be getting upset, but this is great to see that this is what we like and this is what we enjoy here at the Giggity Racing League. Not only is Pendle following, and we're sure he's getting upset being unable to pass as he's clearly got the better car, but the two cars are yet to make contact. As Honey goes wide, gets into the grass, Pendle to the outside of him here. The left-handed corner, Honey's able to hold on. But here we go with the right hand. Pendle's got the preferred line. Pendle is your new leader in that 11, I believe that's a Chevy Camaro, as he passes the underdog 35 Toyota of Honey Wild. Already has a few car lengths gap as that 11 car is strong here at Mid-Ohio. I say a few car. He's jumped out to possibly a second, maybe a second and a half already. Man, that car's fast. And don't look now, but coming up in the rear of that 35 car is that yellow number 10. Is everybody called it? You can never
Pendle's
count
in
out.
The grass.
Yeah, absolutely. He saves it. Honey is unable to capitalize, but you can never count out that 10 of Jake as he's very strong on these road courses. Guitar, both races tonight are at 50%. There was question with this being the last race before playoffs if we should up it to 100 at Richmond, but we didn't do that simply because this series does not have playoffs. So anybody that asked me that was misinformed.
Alrighty, guys. Also wanted to give a shout out here. I hope you don't wreck on it. But give a shout out here to Pendle. This week he actually captured in another league. It was let me see here. Pedal to the Metal Racing League. He actually captured the championship this week. So I want to give a shout out to him for actually over there wise while still racing over here in Giggity.
Yeah. Also, real quick on that same aspect, league to league respect here. The Pottles, everybody knows the Pottles, one of the fastest females on the game by far. Um, she's taking a break from league racing. Some personal stuff happened with a driver that I'm sure people know. Gotta love the name, old Dustin McGee causing issues, and because of that, the Pottles is taking a break. Looks like that was the end of the stage as these guys are slowed down. Not sure what happened to Honey, but it looks like it goes Pendle, Jake, Bob, and then Hunty. Anyways, back to the Pottles. Respect. We're looking forward to you coming back and getting into some racing from everybody here at Giggity. You do a great job over there with PTM. What's it? Full, I don't know. PTM Racing League. Anyways, it's great.
Pedal to the Metal.
While we're on this break, looks like the stage end again. Pendle with the win. I want to give a big shout out to one of our own, Blakey T. You'll see him driving the 88 Cup car on Sundays and Wednesdays. Heartfelt from everyone here at Giggity. The man lost his father last night. Anything you need, brother, just give a shout. Prayers and best wishes from everybody here. I understand if you're unable to make Sunday, but we're hoping to see you also on that note. Sunday, tune in as we will be doing a 3-wide salute in honor of his father at Indianapolis.
Along with, if you guys tune in on the development side on Friday, I'll be running Blakey's 88 car in remembrance of his dad as well.
All right, as we go back to racing here, the beginning of stage 2.
How you doing, guys? I snuck in the back door.
Mills made it. Mills is here. Right at the beginning of stage 2, he did make it before the end of the race.
I did. Sorry, a little late. The update was brutal, absolutely brutal. But glad I could join you guys and check out what we got going on in Mid-Ohio.
Jake in the lead. Jake overshoots the turn. He goes wide. It looks like the 61 of Matt BW followed Honey Wild to the lead. Oh, apologies. The 11 of Pendle takes the lead with Honey following him just as we were getting ready to end stage 2. That's how they were running. The only difference is the other top 4, the other 2 of the top 4 are no longer in the picture. Boomhauer on this default slider setup looks like he's running good. As I say that, he's going wide. Etho goes wide. The 61 of Matt BW gets hit. Jake moving back up in the field into the top 5 again. The 89 Piston Piper makes contact with the 18. Cars are everywhere back here in the back of this pack.
22's in the grass. Frantic racing.
Yeah, with damage on in this race, a lot of these guys are taking themselves out of the possibility of being in the top 5 for this stage. I know that seems minuscule. However, it's huge because being outside the top 5 at the end of the stage means you're outside at the beginning of stage 3. Hunty has gotten by Pendle and retaken the lead, but here comes the 07 of Robbie Vids. As we talked about, another great road course driver is taking third as he rides in front of the 10 of Jake.
Pendle took no time after that incident to come back up to the front either.
He's quick. I don't think I've
He's making
seen
a
a
move
car.
for the lead.
I have not seen a single car this dominant at a road course since last season when Marcus ran the Xfinity Series.
Dude, Marcus destroyed last season. That car was on a rail.
Pendle right on the back bumper. That 35 car.
I'm intrigued to see if Pendle is going to ride behind him like he did for so long in stage 1, or if he's going to
as you see that, Robbie, look at the inside of Pendle here, guys.
He's there too.
Robbie's no joke. The two of them, though, while they're racing, what they'll end up doing is allowing Honey to get away as they single out and start just driving and catching them. These top 4 are on a rail and have pulled away from the rest of the field.
By the way, guys, Trey actually accidentally backed out of the race, so he's out of this race. So I hate to see it for him.
Oh, Trey.
That's too bad. That's too bad. I probably would have gone with, I lagged out. I didn't accidentally get myself
talking about lagged out, I'm so glad that, as we see Matty lost it coming up. Sorry, guys. As we see Matty lost it. Heavy front-end damage on his car.
I know one car that he will beat, and that will be Trey. Trey, love you to death and everything, but like usual, explicit word Trey. Little personal inside joke there. I'm sure he would get a chuckle if he's watching. You know, this 11 car is still strong, but he doesn't seem to have that closing speed that he did in stage 1. I don't know if
Endo is off in the sand.
The thing is,
I don't know
though,
if Honey's
Taddy,
taking it easier
his
or
car's a
if he's
long run
pushed the gas
car.
harder. Yeah, it
His,
is for
yeah,
sure. He was not there the first 2 or 3 laps of stage
yeah,
1, and then he just closed hard.
yeah. That's usually. I mean, even in other tracks beside road courses, he's the same way. He's got a long. If the car, if it goes green for a short period of time, he has a long car, and that's where he's strong at. When it's short runs, you don't see him quite as much up front
Boom hour off.
because it takes him some time to get the car wound up.
Absolutely. So I'm going through the field, you know, and I just keep doing that. And every time I do, I'm seeing these top 4 cars consistently on the track. And then I start scrolling through the rest of the field.
Oh,
and
as
they're
we see,
consistently off the track. As
Robbie
Robbie
Pit
Vince
Road.
is in the pits.
Is that scheduled or was that by accident?
Via nobody pitted in the stage 1, I'm going to say that was on accident. Maybe he got loose coming off that last corner, ended up in pit lane. Either way, that hurts his chances of winning this stage. Again, unless it's intentional, I just don't see that being the scenario. As with that happening, just like what happened in stage 1, Jake has fallen off pace again, and here comes the 35 and 11 being your top 2 cars. Arkham agreed that may be strategy. It could. This is one of those tracks, right? So hear me out on the strategy idea. If I'm Robbie, and I know I practice this all day, I know that we have to pit one time green flag or one time total throughout the race, and it might be just at stages. Say stage 3, you don't have to pit except for between them. Well, he won't have to pit. Pendle off the track, almost into the wall. But so if Robbie pits now, then at the end of stage 2, he doesn't have to, and he doesn't go lap down because of how long the track is. And so Robbie stays out, everybody else pits. Robbie would be your late leader to begin stage 3.
See, what Pendle's happening here is he's pushing the car too hard because he knows he's quick, but he's over driving it, trying to catch up to Hunty. I mean, if I was Pendle, I literally would just take a lap, rebreathe, and reset myself.
Hey, RKM, real quick, don't be asking the hard questions in the chat and get me confused. How many laps on a tank? Yeah, right, like I ran a road course to find out.
Yeah, this is definitely not anybody's favorite road course. The odd one or two. But, no, this is a difficult track to drive.
It's interesting that you just said everyone's favorite road course, like I have a favorite road course.
Watkins Glen.
You know what my favorite road course is? It's the week that we don't have any of them.
No, I take that back, Taddy. My favorite actually is Canadian Tire. That's probably the only place where I'm really good at finish really well at.
Yeah, okay, Canadian Tire is my favorite road course simply because they have a jump. Arkham knows all about that. Cowabunga.
I remember that actually. I actually remember that.
He's all over the track right now. He's lost tons of time. I don't know if maybe he didn't pit and this is his long run, loose as heck, but either way, that 11 car is not looking nearly as good as it did in stage 1.
And Jake's closing in, guys. I'm riding on board with him right now. He's closed it up a lot in the last lap.
That 10 car, man, it must be nice getting the free pack DLC paint schemes. You don't get that too often, especially on a league night race, where one day you got no schemes, then the next you do. I did see Kevin Harvick.
Pendle is everywhere. Sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on, Pendle. Pendle, he is everywhere.
Jake by him now for P2.
Yeah, he just literally hit the left side grass patch and then went right to the right, straight across in front of Jake. So I don't know what's going on with Pendle as we speak right now.
Good battle towards the a little bit further back in the pack, Matt and Ed. Matt's got a little bit of damage to the front end of his car.
Ed's another one of those guys. He can run consistent laps. I'm seeing Piston Piper pitting now, just coming out of the pits. So maybe what, not Trey, maybe what Robbie Vids did earlier was a planned pit stop, is they may have to make a stop here.
As we're looking here, I actually just jumped on the stream. Looks like there's 3 laps to go in this stage, in the stage 2 here too as well. So.
So also breaking news, Marcus, the man that everybody wanted to see the battle, Hunty, Marcus, Jake, the battle at the road course. He took a little nap and decided not to wake up for race time. He's looking like he'll be there for Richmond, though. On a positive note to that, can't say he's going to be tired, but
Oh,
maybe some
Robbie
of you
lost
guys
it.
will be.
Sorry, guys. I just literally was on board with Robbie, and he hit the curb, and it just spun him out. He dropped the gear and put it back down and saved it, but he about spun it out all the way here.
I do want to give a shout out back here. We got Habab, we got C-Dub, and we have Woodruff racing here for position. Not sure what position, but it is a position. C-Dub is also a DSR driver, and he's a dirt ringer. As we say that, he goes out into the dirt trying to get some more dirt. Apparently, he thinks that's where the speed is, but he's done a pretty good job. I've seen him go off track a few times, but to go from the dirt series onto asphalt and be trying to hit turn left and right,
Oh, boom
it's not as easy as it
hard
seems.
hit. You just took a hard hit, guys.
Matt BW off the track in front of it, though.
Yeah, sorry
I've
about
seen
that, Ryan.
Boomhauer's flown through the grass and the dirt a few times. If you don't believe me, just look at that hood of the car. I'm hoping that he's not driving in car view because there's not much of a view left if he is. Piston Piper around back here.
Oh, well put. Well put.
Again,
So,
Boomhauer, he's not like me. He's not a road course guy, and he's running on a slider. Everybody else here has had time and put in a custom. He did not. I had to coax him into racing. He decided to, and kudos to him even trying out there. Robbie
hey
Bids is
guys.
making some passes. He's gotten past C-Dub, Woodruff, and now he's working on, who is that third car up there?
I just noticed something, guys. Unless something happened to Hunty, it was a 7-second lead. I'm on board with Jake. He's grabbed him down to 2 seconds.
And Pendle's also right there. Looks like he's gotten his car straightened out. Something that you can do when you have that big of a lead, though, we were talking about pit strategy, when you have to pit, if you have to pit. How do you conserve your tire and fuels? You get yourself a 10-second lead, and then you lift, and you take it very easy for the next 5-6 laps. And it looks to me like that's possibly what he's done, because I don't see him going slower. Or it doesn't look like he's going off track, apologies. He's still hitting his marks. He's running very well, consistent and clean, just at a slower pace. So I'm going to say he's backing it down.
Man, that thing is wicked loose. I don't know if it's just because tires are going bad, but that thing is, I mean, it's fast, but he is so loose.
Like Bob's got himself some company. I'm not sure what position he's running right now, but I think it's Woodruff on his back door.
Yeah, those two have been running right next to each other this whole stage.
I'm actually, for the last lap of the stage, I'm going to ride on board with Hunty and Jake, because I feel like it's going to be a really close battle coming along. I mean, I know Hunty's saving his stuff, but at the same time as Jake's going for all it's worth.
I tell you what, guys, Woodruff just moved Habab out of the way.
Jake looking the outside.
Side by side.
Oh!
Jake to the point. Now is Pendle going to close in on these guys? You know, you might be right. Maybe there's something wrong with hunting. We talked about the difference between an e-sport setup and a long run setup. He might just have one of those setups that's crazy fast for 5 or 6 laps and then falls off dramatically.
Yeah, you gotta have a car that's gonna stay under you throughout the course of a run here.
Was that the end of the stage?
Yes, sir.
I can only imagine because I seen Pendle go flying into the grass trying to make the pass there at the right at the start finish line.
All right, so what we see
and
here
I can't
is
see him doing
Jake,
that unless it's a
Pendle, Hunty, C-Dub got 4th. Robbie came back to 5th. Let's see here what else here. I don't know if it'll show the rest here. here. Or look at the board here in general. Yeah, it does, the 01. It looks like Jake. I mean, it might take some time, more longer than he wants to, for that car to come in.
Real quick, this just in. So, you said, Mills, that your update was dramatic, or took forever?
Yes.
Kay Larson, who is also going to join us in the booth, his game is telling him it's going to take him 4 hours to be able to download. So I'm going to go with there's absolutely no way he's going to be joining us. He says, and that's with him hardwired plugged in. So, Larson,
Right.
you might have the slowest PlayStation ever.
Yeah, you just
Alright,
might.
guys. As the finishing running order for top 10, there is N6 was Woodruff, then Habab, Matt BW, and then Etho, followed by Fat Pack. That was your top 10 for there. Alright, looks like C-Dub with strategy, guys.
We go with stage 3. Better pull them belts tight. Oh, I've seen it a few times where the guys will cut that first corner, like they'll go below the rumble strips, like the turtles, and make speed out of it. Whenever I have tried that, the car just snaps loose on me. I can't touch it. Pretty impressive. These guys are making good time with it.
Yeah, I mean, this is great. So as we start stage 3, looks like Pendle's got a good lead. Via what I've seen in these other two stages, even though, Matty Boy's in the dirt here, just now getting going, sorry. Via what I've seen in these first two stages, I can't say that I pick anyone to win other than that 11 car. No Pit Pendle, even when he was loose in stage 2 and way off at the end of the stage. As I said, that he goes off track, back on real quick, as it looks like maybe he just cut the corner a little. Even in stage 2 when he was loose, he lost a lot of time, caught right back up, was right there with the leaders. So my pick to win this race is definitely going to be that 11 car.
As you say about Matty Boy, I think he just backed out too, Taddy.
Matty Boy, I'm disappointed. That's my underdog driver. Looks like Honey's going to have to try to carry that. As I say that about Honey and Jake side by side coming off that final corner. Looks like Jake edges it, but Honey's coming back strong on the outside. Jake gets him as the following corner was to the left. Honey crosses him over. Jake in the dirt. Honey takes P2. Here comes Robbie Vids for P3.
Robbie
Vids
takes easily going to take it away. Oh, but he overdrives a little bit getting into that corner.
Woodruff Sport looks like he rounds out our top 5. Good comeback for him. Haven't talked a whole lot about him, but he's up there in the top 5. Honey looks like he's pulling away from Robbie Vids now that he's cleared Jake, and it looks like he's set his sights on Pendle. Now, like we talked about, those eSport setups, he may reel in Pendle in no time and be able to get around him, but how long will that car hold up, as it didn't seem to hold up very long in stage 2.
Tired now. Jake is all over the rear bumper of Robbie right now.
Oh, Honey off the track. Both those two now take P2 and P3. Robbie Vids is just following the course, staying on track and capitalizing when possible, and got himself in the top 3, as it looks like Jake just went around him, or is trying to right now as we speak. All this is doing is making No Pit Pendle the happiest man here in the race, as he is just walking away from everybody.
The other bad part is, though, I was looking at Jake. I don't know if it was the gas mileage itself was, but it's only about 8 laps. Jake's going to have to pit soon, too, so.
And you don't have to look too far back to find Woodruff either. He's staying close. Good battle here for 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, I believe. There's 4-car pack.
Oh, yeah, I'm on board with that. That actually is really close racing with, I believe it's Matt BW.
Habab, and who's that in the back? Piston Piper, newcomer to the series. It's Piston Piper overdrives the corner, goes through Habab. Edtho cuts it short. Little contact. They separate, but looks like they all saved it after just a little bit of contact.
True, and by the way, Marcus, Glad to see you back, bud. Missed you.
Absolutely, man. We were all hoping to see you out on the track with us
Oh,
tonight,
yeah.
Marcus.
Miss
When I
seeing
say
that
that,
legend ringer.
what I mean by that, Marcus, is everybody that's watching the race was hoping to see you in there. Everybody on the track is happy that you were sleeping at the beginning of this
I
road
did the
course.
truth.
The guitar, I do agree. Jake does seem to have a long run car as usual.
That's a
Ooh,
battle right
RKM.
now.
RKM with a good bit of acknowledgement there. Maybe Honey did stay out at the end of stage 1 and needed to stay fuel on stage 2. And that does make sense as why he was going so much slower there at the end.
Ooh, good point. Right on, RKM.
And this is why we were hoping Mr. Ear Infection would have been in the booth tonight. But again, Mr. Ear Infection, apparently it hurts to put on headphones or something.
But it doesn't hurt to type.
In here. Yeah, true. Pretty proud of the old man as he even knows how to type. But
Who
that's
was
just
that?
me.
Somebody just ran way off the grass. 67 car.
67, I'm not so sure who the 67 is. Going through the field.
Looks like 61, maybe.
Maybe the 61.
Was it blue? Because that's Matty BW 83.
Yeah.
Oh, 61, yeah. Oh, Fat Patch and Bulk make some contact. Is there a caution? Oh, no, they're back up to speed. Okay, they're just going real slow through that corner. Looks like Bulk off the track. Fat Patch and Boomhauer are able to get by him. C-Dub and Bob coming up through the field. Man, I'm really impressed with this 82 C-Dub. I know I talked about it earlier, but going from a dirt ringer to impressing the DSR captain and getting an Xfinity ride, I'm really impressed with how this guy's doing.
C-Dub ran hot seat over on Wednesday, I believe. Yesterday, didn't he?
Who's this?
C-Dub?
No. DSR hot seat last night was Fat Patch.
Right.
RKM said one finger commando for his old age, being able to type. I can 100% picture that in my head right now.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Marcus, you talking here. We were just talking about, and I told this to Taddy too, Mills. This actually was the first race I started using the NOCO 1 to go.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Not to cut that statement short, but this 11 car is starting to get a mirror full of a 10.
Oh, yeah.
The guys that week in and week out are always running up front, and you hate to see that 10 in your rearview mirror because, again, he has a 160-something point lead over second, and he's looking to try to get this P1 position on the track and extend that points lead.
See, now, if I was in Pender's predicament, I'd shut the mirror off. I wouldn't even look in the mirror. I'd just run my race and just not worry about him being behind me.
Well, that's where it gets tricky. You know, as a driver, yeah, you need to drive out the windshield so you don't make mistakes. Pendle's a very veteran, experienced driver. I don't think that Jake being in his rear view will cause him to make a mistake. But you got to keep in mind that 10 and 11, those are teammates. Those are both drivers for the NOCO team on the anniversary of the NOCO 1 to go. So NOCO's team's looking pretty good. Pendle's going to give him a little more room than he would others, but at the same time, Pendle wants this win probably just as bad as everybody. So this will be pretty good if Jake can get up there to his rear bumper. As he goes off track just a little, as Jake did as well. Jake goes high in the following corner. Pendle was able to hit his marks at the bottom. Looks like he might pull away just a hair. Jake is there, though, guys.
9 to go, guys.
Jake is there. Yeah, don't look away.
I know on the screen you guys might see, car length or two, but in racing on a road course, he's there. I mean, it's just a matter of time.
On board with Jake, he's there.
Side by side.
Let's say, on board
Making
with
a
Jake,
move.
oh, man, it's there.
Nice big arc into that turn, trying to get a good run off. Pull it to
Wait,
the
who's that
inside.
creeping? Hold on,
See,
who's
again,
that?
some of the respect. That's Honey in the 35 catching up to these two.
Yeah.
So if they start going side by side, Honey will be there for a 3-car battle with 9 laps to go in this road course race. this is some better road course racing than you see even in the Cup Series. I mean, this is great racing these guys are doing. Now, what I did say about them being teammates, that 10 car is giving the 11 a little bit more respect, not using his bumper into the corners. But will that change when the 35 catches the two of them?
Oh, for sure. If
wonder,
you're being held up by a guy, you got no choice in the closing laps. You need to
I'm
go.
starting to wonder if we're getting to that point in the stage that
as Jake looked inside.
Yeah, Jake.
They're side by side. Oh my!
10 to the lead. 11 is going to fall back in and try to keep it. As
Here
he
comes
actually
Honey,
tries to
guys.
cross him over.
Honey's going to be there.
A little too low. Honey is right there. Just like we were saying about Jake, it may look like a little gap, but road course racing, he is there. He is in this battle.
The thing is, though, Taddy, there's one bad issue, though. I'm on board with him. He only has 2 laps of fuel left. He's going to have to pit.
Who are we talking about?
Jake.
If Jake has to pit, I'm going to imagine so does everybody else.
Unless, like we were saying, like Ryan was saying, what if Hunty actually saved?
Well, but Hunty was saving in stage 2, though.
Still, though, he could have saved. I mean, I don't know how much he could, because remember, he backed off from the guys. Them guys drove off. He could have been back there saving, and was how much he needed, and he could just drive off.
Jake is stretching his legs, opening it up. We got a good 1.5-second gap on second place now, Pendle. Second and third's heating up, guys.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, this battle ain't over, and I don't think Jake's just gonna up and walk away. Could he possibly? But I just don't see it. You know, Pendle went through this in stage 2 where he slowed down. He was all over the track, had a hard time handling. I'm really thinking that's the part that he's going through right now. The other thing, as we see Pendle and Honey both in pit road.
Jake is pitting too.
The other thing about this,
you out from that camera angle.
The strongest car on fresh tires is the 11. When they come out of the pits, they're all going to be on fresh tires. I mean, if you play strategy and you do 2 tires, you might get a 7-8 second lead. But if Pendle takes 4, he'll reel you in a lap. This is going to be, looks like damage between the 10 and the 35 on pit lane.
Got some issues on pit road for sure.
I mean, if I'm the pit crew, I'm mad that my guys didn't pull into the box straight. Jake is the first one out, followed by Pendle, followed by Hunty. Whatever happened, they all took the same strategy because that was bang, bang, bang as they come out of the pit boxes. So they're all on the same strategy, whether it be 4 tires or 2 tires, I don't know. But they're all on the same strategy. As Honey did pass the 11 in pit lane. So he's now in second, and does he have that eSport setup we were talking about? Does he have those 5-lap fast laps before he falls off?
If it does, it's gonna play in his wheelhouse.
Guys, we're not trying to take away from the fact that there were 16 cars that started this race and 16, I believe there's still 13 on the track. But it's hard to take a camera away from this type of battle for the race win.
My question is Honey going to have enough time to reel Jake down?
Road courses are tricky, man. Pendle is fighting hard to get past Honey. I still believe that 11 car is the fastest car on the track, but now he has to try to get by the 35 before he can work on Jake.
Hunty's got front-end damage. That might change the aspect of how his car runs, too.
So I'm not so sure that he actually has damage. This game is notorious for when you get damage in a stage and you fix it, it doesn't go away. That might have been why Hunty was falling off at the end of stage 2, or right there just before the pits. Also, that could have just come while they were pitting when he made contact with the 10 car. But if he has damage from contact with the 10, that would also mean the 10 has damage.
Yeah, he's starting to stretch his legs on Pendle.
Jake is checking out. He's probably got a good 2.5, 3 second lead.
3.8 second lead. I just looked on board with him.
3.8?
Yeah.
That's a pretty comfortable margin. If you're Jake.
Well, It's a road course, though. If Honey sets down laps even just 1 second faster, if he's hitting, I don't know what the time frames are here, but if he's hitting 1 second faster than Jake, within 4 laps, he's on top of him.
I mean, thing is, Hunty, he can actually see him, like see that yellow bumper. That's the thing right now. Like he can see it in the corners. True.
Oh yeah, Honey can still see that car.
Thing is, Ryan just put in there 3.8. It's just one time in the grass.
100%. On that note, I'm going to go with exactly what you were saying earlier, Grim. At this point, if I'm Jake, I'm shutting my rear view mirror off. I don't care what's going on behind me. I only want to see the front. Nothing else matters at this point.
Just hit your marks. Jake is one heck of a road course racer, though. You can't deny it. It doesn't matter where we go. Road course, he runs strong.
I'll give you a bad example, guys, here too. Hunty actually put a 4-second gap over Pendle.
Yeah, I'm wondering, man, that's crazy. Pendle just doesn't seem to have it after those pit stops. I don't know what happened. Looks like the leaders are going to come up into some lap traffic as Jake is catching the 18 of Boomhauer now. I would imagine Boomhauer to pull over, but that's not always necessarily true here in the Giggity Racing League. Because at the same time, Boomhauer is fighting to stay on the lead lap in case caution does come out. And even if he goes a lap down, he's still going to fight hard, as that would put him as the lucky dog.
He's definitely fighting.
Oh, yeah.
He's holding him up.
I mean, I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
Honey sees this going on in front of him, right? Like, he is just chomping on the bit.
Jake gets into the
now.
grass. Trying to get around Boomhauer. Jake gets into the grass. He's holding it back. Honey is going to be there here shortly. Because here's the trick to lap traffic. Boomhauer goes off the track, so Jake gets by clean.
Oh, and he holds Honey up a little bit.
I think that was just him trying to get back on the track.
This is getting close, guys.
When you lap somebody, the lap traffic, they're going to fight hard on the leader. But once you get to them and you're in second, they're not going to fight you nearly as hard. They've already lost the lap. There's no reason to hold up everybody else. So with that fact, Boomhauer did nothing wrong there to any fans, any viewers. That's exactly what you do in racing. You fight to stay on the lead lap. No, I wasn't saying you. I was just to anybody in there. If you're thinking Boomhauer did something wrong, any viewers, anybody, that's good, hard racing. Shout out to him for doing that. Of course, he did go off the track, but that's racing on road courses.
Jake was able to stretch it out just a little bit from that.
It looks like they're probably at about 2.5 to 3 seconds now. It's not a 4-second lead anymore.
Yeah, it's about 2.7 right now.
I was dead on there.
So I don't want to consistently ride on Hunty here, but again, it's getting close to the closing laps here. I mean, it's a position for either something happens to Jake and Hunty can capitalize. I mean, and as I say, Jake making a mistake, that's a word that rarely happens. Jake rarely, and I mean rarely, makes a mistake.
There's a lot of people that don't make mistakes, but then when you come to a road course, you make multiples. You see a little bit of dirt flying up from these guys when they're maybe cutting a corner or they just cut it a little bit too short. I know that seems so silly, but that's losing time compared to just hitting maybe the rumble strip or just cutting that corner right to that white line. Anytime you see dirt fly up, as I say, that Honey just went into the dirt. That's losing time. Your tires are spinning. You got no traction. You just can't go as fast in dirt and grass as you can on the asphalt. And honestly, the difference to me right now as to why Jake's pulling away, Honey is driving the wheels off of his machine trying to catch, and it's causing him to nick those little grass marks while Jake's able to just kind of hit his marks, go at ease. He's got 3 seconds to play with. There's not really any pressure on him right now. Either way, this is a great showing from both drivers.
I'll tell you right now, something must have happened, like you were saying, Teddy. Something physically must have happened on that stop to Pendle's car.
I mean, we
There's
did see the contact where the 35 and the 11 were stuck together on exit. Um, as I'm looking through the field, Woodruff was off the track. Robbie Vids is all by himself. Nobody in front, nobody behind.
right now running order is Jake, Hunty, Pendle, Robbie, and Woodruff. That's right now the top 5.
I mean, I'm watching Pendle. He's still hitting his marks. Uh, Something is amiss, though. Like you said, maybe there's some damage. Something that has got to be wrong with that car. I'm not seeing him all over the place, but he just doesn't have the speed that he had earlier in the race. At the same time, we've all seen Honey and Jake. Jake doesn't win every stage, but he shows up and wins the race. So he's a very conservative driver. He doesn't go push it any more than he needs to. Final stage is final stage. You may look strong, and all of a sudden, at the end of the race, you got nothing for other people that have finally been like, oh, it's go time now. And it looks like that's exactly what the 10
As
car
we
has
see that
done.
right now, it's a battle on his position right now. Woodruff and C-Dub right now are having a real good battle right now.
As Jake has lapped another car of the 89. Jake off course. He hit the rumble strip, went way off course.
He is. Pulls it back onto the track, though.
A couple cars between him and Honey, so that's going to save him as we have Edtho and Piston Piper, both DSR drivers.
You know what's hurting him?
Currently Edtho is a Canuck until the beginning of next season. Edtho is a Canuck racing for someone else while owning his own team. So let's get that straight real quick. At the end of the season, he'll be leaving the Canucks and be a full-time DSR captain and driver.
Yeah, the bad part of what's happening right now, and I'm actually watching Jake's stream. He's looking back in his mirror, not watching, or looking back like from the camera view and looking back. That's why I think he's messing up, because he's too worried about what's behind him right now. If he wants this win, he needs to focus on what's in front of him.
Yeah, you know, what's there, 3 laps to go maybe? Either way, once you get to this point, you know, you can see the ticker, but the ticker doesn't tell you how far. I mean, it literally tells you exactly how far back they are, but until you can see it for yourself, you can't really stake claim. Like, you just hear 3 seconds, you're like, oh, that's a long time, and then you look back and they're still in your rearview mirror. It's not nearly as long as you're thinking it was, you know. On these straightaways, if you're Jake, yeah, you want to check back, see what you're doing, whether you can still conserve, whether you got to get after it.
By the way, guys,
Another
it's a no-go, one to go.
That 10 car is taking corners
One to
wide.
go.
That 10 car is taking corners wide as Honey is hitting his marks perfect. All Jake has to do at this point in time is just ride. He's done a great job the whole race. And that's a nice looking paint scheme.
Oh, yeah.
It really is.
It reminds you of the old Ollie's paint scheme, honestly.
I will say, though, that 35 car, again, that's my driver, my car, and the 35 of Honey. That is an ugly paint scheme.
Then the car should have
I
gave
feel
him a
like
better
the 30
paint scheme.
Well, that's just it. That car has multiple paint schemes, and he chose, I believe, the ugliest one. And had he had a better paint scheme like Jake does, he'd probably be up there in P1 instead of P2. Also, everything I just said is fake news. So back to our race winner here with on the final lap, Jake. I'm not going to pronounce it. I'm not Canadian. You go ahead, Mills. You say his name.
What, Guru?
Yep.
Jake Guru.
You knew what I was talking about.
Abu, eh?
As Jake is your Mid-Ohio race winner here in the Giggity Racing League. Congratulations to that 10 car. Hard-fought race. Honey comes in second, and No Pit Pendle will be your third-place finisher. Is Robbie Vid still in fourth?
Yes.
Man, great showing for him. I know he's been fighting hard all season. He loves these road courses. There's some real caliber drivers in this Xfinity series. I don't want to dog on it when we say it's the Xfinity group. Jake, Honey, Pendle, they're all cup caliber, you know. There's just only so many seats open ahead of you, and they're also, all 3 of them are new to the Giggity Racing League, so hard to put them in another series when you don't know them that well. A hard-fought race, though, by Robbie Vids in this 07 car.
Are we doing interviews or wait until after their chatting?
We are going to wait until after.
Well, that's fine. We doing the top 3 for both races or just winners both?
Definitely winners, and I don't know about top 3. I like getting people that run a little. Maybe Robbie might be somebody that we try to interview later. Also, to any of the viewers, I know he's broadcasted first a few times. If you haven't heard this man's voice, it's amazing. It makes me chuckle just listening to him talk. So, let's see.
Where are we off to next?
They
Richmond.
got Richmond. So our
Richmond.
final results here are Jake Hunty, No Pit Pendle, Robbie Vids, C-Dub comes home with the top 5. Told you the guy was impressing me. Habab, Woodruff, Matt BW, Edtho, Piston Piper rounds out the top 10. We have Boomhauer in 11th, Fat Patch in 12th. I don't think he finished. Bolt Crusher, Matty Boy, and Trey. And we all know what happened to Trey. Accidentally backed out. He had a bad car and decided he didn't want to run, I believe. I'm just kidding. He was running in 4th. He had a good showing before he backed out. For myself, Mills GRL now, I believe. Shadow Grim. We're going to call this quits here for this broadcast at Mid-Ohio. We will see you in about 10 to 15 minutes as we get ready to go to the short track of Richmond.
Right on. Can't wait.
Oh yeah, I'm ready. See you guys soon.